Okay, here's example 9 with reference angles. So we haven't done any negative reference angle examples yet, and we've only done one with degrees, so let's do a negative one with degrees. So find the reference angle for a negative 195 degrees. Okay, so just like we always do, the first thing we ask ourselves, is this between 0 and 360 degrees? No, it's not, right? It's less than 0 degrees. So what we do, remember, we find that coterminal angle between 0 degrees and 360 degrees. Because remember, coterminal angles, since they are coterminal, then by definition they have the same reference angles, okay? Because the reference angle is defined in terms of the terminal side of the angle, and coterminal angles have the same terminal side. So anyway, negative 195 degrees. So since it's negative, we want to add 360 degrees as much as we need to get what? To get our coterminal angle between 0 degrees and 360 degrees. So if we take 360 and add negative 195, then what we're going to get is 165 degrees. Okay, so that's 165 degrees. Okay, so now what? Well, now 165 degrees, is that between 0 and 2, or is that between 0 degrees and 360 degrees? Yeah, it is, right? So that's good. Now we can draw that. Okay. Now 165 degrees isn't exactly a special angle on the unit circle, so we haven't really talked about those in terms of degrees, but you can convert all these to degrees, just multiply by 180 over pi, right? But if you do that with these, you'll see that it's not really one of these special angles. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so we can just approach this like we did with some earlier examples. So let's go ahead and draw this now. Okay, x-axis, y-axis. So what we want to draw now is 165 degrees. So remember, what we're really concerned with is negative 195 degrees, but it's coterminal with this guy. These two guys are coterminal, so they have the same terminal side, which means the same reference angle. Okay, so if we want to draw that, first of all, this is not, so we don't know where exactly this is, so we think, okay, this is 90 degrees up here. Okay, this is 180 degrees over here. Well, hey, 90 degrees is less than 165 degrees, which is less than 180 degrees. So 165 degrees should be between these two guys. Okay, so here's 90 degrees, 180 degrees, so 165 is between them, somewhere sort of around here. Okay? We don't have to get it exactly right, just get the quadrant right. So here is 165 degrees. Okay? So how do we get the reference angle? Remember, the reference angle is the acute angle between the terminal side and the x-axis. So it's this angle here. How do we get it over here? Take pi, take the entire, the half rotation here, take pi, and then subtract off this piece, it'll give us this piece left over, okay? So pi radians is 180 degrees, so what we do is 180 degrees minus 165 degrees, and that's going to give us, probably easier to write it the other way, but anyway, that's just going to be 15 degrees, okay? So that is our answer, 15 degrees. Okay, and again, we had to do this coterminal thing because remember, before we apply this logic, we have to be between 0 degrees and 360 degrees, so be very careful. So negative 195 degrees would actually be this angle right here. Okay, this is negative 195 degrees. Okay, but we can't do this kind of logic with that. So if we try that, what would happen? We would have 180 degrees minus negative 195 degrees, okay, which would put us at, let's see, 360 plus 15, 375 degrees. And that's just all kinds of wrong, right? So the reference angle has to be acute, so 375 degrees is not acute, so if you try this, something would be wrong. You'd see, oh, well, hey, I got to get that coterminal angle between 0 degrees and 360 degrees. And since it's 165 degrees, we know it's between 90 degrees and 180 degrees, so it's somewhere in the second quadrant. And then we use that fact to say, okay, take 180 degrees, that whole half rotation here, subtract off this piece, it'll give me what I want, which is just 15 degrees. And that's example 9 with finding reference angles.